Hi, friends. This week's Bible story is coming to us from the book of Acts, chapter 2, verses 43 through 47. And it's a story for us about the early believers and how they chose to follow Jesus and how they chose to care for one another. The early believers were great at sharing. They shared their food and their clothes and their money and their homes. They were so generous, and no one was poor or needy because others gave without holding anything back. Together, they saw many miracles and wonders, and they worshiped in their homes, just like we're doing right now, and in temples. They talked about Jesus, and they thanked God for blessing them. And when others saw what was happening in their community and how generous they were being and how they were caring for one another, they decided to join them. And that is how the early church grew. And that's the church we know today. And I think that is a pretty powerful and relevant story for us this day, friends, because I have seen the many ways that you all are being church in our communities right now. How you're sharing with others without thought of any other thing except for making sure that everyone has what they need. And how you are caring for others and how you are being kind to your families. This story also makes me think about one of my favorite children's books, and that is How Full Is Your Bucket and How to Fill a Bucket. There are so many versions of this story, but the basic premise of the story is that everyone is born with an invisible bucket, one that you cannot see, but you can fill in your heart. And every day, when you choose to be kind or when someone is kind to you, it fills your bucket. And when you choose to be kind to others, it also fills their bucket. I call these warm and fuzzies. And it works the other way too, friends. When you choose to be unkind or not generous, it dips in other people's buckets. So it takes warm and fuzzies out. But not only does it take it out of theirs, it takes it out of yours too. So you can see that it's very important to be kind and to be generous and to love deeply so that you can have a full bucket and then everyone around you has one too. It's also important to remember that you can't dip from an empty bucket. So you need to take good care of yourself and make sure that you're being kind to yourself and you're getting lots of rest and healthy foods and exercise so that you have a bucket that you can pour into someone else's bucket. I have seen you all do this in so many ways recently, and I want to share some pictures with you now that illustrate for me so beautifully how we are showing up to be church in our community and for each other.
I see people sharing all they have with neighbors they may never meet. I see many people showing up to share food with children and families that are hungry. I see church staff finding ways to connect with each other and our congregation, even the youngest among us, virtually through Zoom meetings, phone calls, or FaceTime. I see children adapting to new ways to be in church together, with Sunday school teachers offering messages of love through routine and connection, and children sending their pictures of art or their stuffed animals getting married, just as a way to stay connected. I see people offering connections to people in any way they can, through phone calls, letters, or cards, even offering their lawn as a safe place to gather. I see communities finding safe ways to connect through scavenger hunts, sidewalk obstacle courses, cheering on friends from a distance who were just learning to ride their bike, or personal notes in chalk sharing love and friendship. I see people showing up to celebrate birthdays and special occasions, just to say we love you and you matter to us. I see people showing up to offer sincere gratitude to the many people who are risking their own health to care for our community. I see friends who go out of their way to bring you toilet paper because they know that is what you need more than anything else in this world. Some even decorate it with a beautiful flower and put it in a Star Wars bag because they know that will make you smile. I see my mama, Who knew I wanted to mail letters to people, sending me so many new stamps so that I can keep sending out love to the world? And long before we were asked to stay home, I saw people showing up to stand for those in our community that are marginalized or are being bullied. I see families savoring extra snuggles, chats by the fire, and time to stop and enjoy the sunrises, sunsets, and of course the roses. God is there, friends. God is always there. Let's be the church, and let's continue filling buckets. Amen.
Friends, this is the church. This is what the early believers taught us about how to build a community of love. I am so proud to be a part of this community. I am proud to be in ministry with each of you when we continue to answer the call to be the church here in our community, where we continue to love unconditionally, give generously, and share our love and light with the world. Friends, know I love you and I miss you. And until we're able to be together again, keep being bucket fillers.